Hello and welcome to part 2 of this 3-part video series on the blueing olive. In the last video I tied the emerger, which is the transitional stage between the nymph and the adult fly, and today I'm going to tie the adult fly, the dun. It's not a difficult fly to tie, and there are many versions of it. The one I use is one, I suppose there's nothing new in fly tying, but I've developed it myself over time and it works extremely well for me, so sit back and enjoy. Okay, blueing olive done. I'm going to tie it on a size 16. You'll need a very light dry fly hook to successfully tie this fly. It's a delicate little fly and it requires a light hook in order to keep it floating. Anything heavy will sink it fairly rapidly. So, for this fly I'm using uni thread in black. I'm starting, as I normally do, just behind the eye of the hook, and I'm going to go back approximately to halfways, and then I'm going to come forward again to about a third of the way back along the shank of the hook. Now, it's called a blueing olive, and although I don't know, it doesn't really appear to me to be blue. It's more sort of a grey. But in any case, what I have here is Antron yarns, a grey Antron yarn. This is the stuff that I use to tie the wings. So, lay that on top of the hook there, tie it in. Now I'm cutting some of the waist, cut it at an angle. That will help to create a taper on the way back along. Now, the tail. The tail I generally tie with grizzle fibres. Now, you can also use micro fibbits, as they're called, or if you want, you can also use paintbrush fibres, which are an awful lot cheaper than micro fibbits, and they are, in my view, exactly the same thing. So I'm going to use a pair of these. Although the blueing olive has 3 tails, you can tie 3 in if you want, but it's not really necessary. I don't believe the trout are able to count how many tails the fly actually has. So I'm going to use 2 of these little paintbrush fibres here in order to create the tail. The tail needs to be just slightly longer than the body. A fraction really. And we tie them in there just like that. We trim it just behind the wing there. Now we're going to go back down, and in order to split the tails, just do between them and under them. That will split the tails. Next, the body. I'm going to use the same dubbing as I use for the nymph. Basically, it's a mixture. The sort of the colour is probably best described as sort of, I like to describe it as an apple that's decaying or rotting. Nice thin rope. It's a very delicate little fly. It's not fat, it's a very slim little fly, so we want to keep all the proportions as slim as possible. And now, up to where it meets the wing, and just in front of the wing we tie off again. Now, the most important thing when tying this fly is to have quality materials, and you will need genetic hackles to get the right effect, and I'm using grizzle dyed olive. And these are genetic hackles, and I want to get the right size. And that's about the right size. We strip a few fibres off to expose the stalk, and then we tie it in just in front of the wing. Now, we want to keep this fly as delicate looking as possible, so we only use 2 turns of hackle. 1 turn behind the wing and 1 turn just in front. Tie that off and trim off the excess hackle. Now 1 or 2 fibers sticking forward there, so I'm going to cut them. Now we're most of the way there. Again, I'm going to use the same dubbing for the thorax or front part of the fly. Again, a nice thin rope. And we start at the eye and back along, but we create the right shape, and then we go forward again just behind the eye, where I will whip finish. And a second whip finish just for security. Cut off your thread, any little fibers that are sticking out there, and then I trim the wing to approximately the length of the body, just like that. And that's the completed blooming olive. Some people call this, I think, a thorax done. But like I said, it's a nice little delicate fly tied in a 16. It needs to be very light and delicate, and I find this one extremely successful when blooming olive duns are on the water. In the next video I'll be dealing with the spinner of the blooming olive, also known as the sherry spinner, and hope you enjoyed this video and look forward to the next. Thanks for watching.